We say hello once again to Monica McNutt. We say hello to John Wallace.
And his hat.
And his hat.
And his hat.
And, of course, Alan Hahn. And we have breaking news here because John Wallace's number 44 is going to be retired at Syracuse, by Syracuse, on February 29th.
Thank you so much.
Leap year.
Yeah,
we got to pick February 29th, didn't they, John?
Of course. It's Boeheim's 44th season.
Fantastic.
So it's another way for me to one-up Derek Coleman.
Is Howard Trish not available, or? I'm sorry.
Already started.
Cornell.
Start dumping on Cornell right out of the gate here, all right? Busy night tonight in the NBA. Last night, the headline matchup, guys, Clippers-Lakers. Kawhi Leonard with 30. LeBron only had 18. What do you have?
Well, like I was telling you guys before, Kawhi's the best player in the NBA. He's dominating. And it was very telling last night that he played, 34 minutes? Mm-hmm. Very efficient. Mm-hmm. The score the way he did in those amount of minutes, very efficient. Led the team, and then Patrick Beverly come out and playing hard. And
look at us trolling new king of LA.
You know what's amazing, though, when you look at the Clippers, he's the only starter that scored in double figures. They had 4 guys off the bench in double figures.
But that's what the Clippers have done.
The best bench in the NBA.
What they built was what you kind of like what you're seeing right now. There was an era where superstars, and you get 2 or 3, and they'll dominate all the minutes, and when they're on the floor, you always have the best player on the floor. But what the Clippers did is real interesting because they got 2 waves coming at you. You see Doc did a 5-man sub, 5-man, just straight up went like hockey line change. But they have the depth to be able to play 82 games. They also have Marcus Morris talked about how he's a dog. That team's that's dogs. Like if the Knicks want to emulate anyone, you play like they do. They defend, they get after it. They've got tough guys in and out of that lineup. And the other thing that really stood out in that game was how LeBron, who looked terrific at the start of the game, the tank was empty in the fourth quarter. You could see it. And he and Anthony Davis combined for 2 points, 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. And the Lakers can't win that way because they don't have that kind of depth that the Clippers have.
The other thing for me when we have this conversation is that the Clippers already have a nucleus that is well established. I mean, yeah, they moved a couple pieces to add Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, but you talk about...
he didn't even play.
Paul George wasn't even out there. He was in his tux, his velvet tux, and his funny-looking bow tie. But you talk about Montrezl Harrell, you talk about Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly. These are guys who we all sat back last year at points in the playoffs. And granted, some will argue that Golden State took their foot off the gas pedal, but they went and closed a double-digit deficit against the Warriors. And so this is a group that has the edge. It was funny last night floating around Twitter was the video from Summer League when Patrick Beverly, Lou Williams, LeBron James, Anthony Davis were standing courtside, and Pat wouldn't look LeBron in the eye when they went to go shake hands because he was already about this LA matchup. Let's get it.
I mean, you like the Clips over the Lakers? What do you think? Kawhi going to run the town here?
Remember, this is the man that called the Raptors to take the finals before any of us were even willing.
I'm the Michael Burry.
I don't remember that. It's been so long ago. I have amnesia.
He's also the former Raptor to pick his own team.
True.
Forget that.
I'm only a former Knick.
Okay, I'll take it. Well, once a Knick, you're always a Knick.
That's
how it works.
I give you credit on that. All right. Other topics here. The Rockets haven't opened up yet. They play tomorrow night. We got to be on the first show here of the regular season for Mike D'Antoni to say, come on, guys, come on.
Coach Platt.
Right. Can Westbrook and Harden coexist? Because we've talked about the fact that D'Antoni often doesn't adjust. Does he need to adjust here?
I just think that's crazy because there's 85 to 90 shots in every NBA game. I mean, so even if you take 30 shots, there's still 40 shots left out there. They're going to be able to coexist. There's a lot of shots out there for both of them. They're both going to dominate the ball and lead their team to, probably to the Western Conference Final. I mean, they're a very strong team.
Who's taking the shots
going to dominate the ball? It's one ball. They're both going to dominate the ball.
Like when they sub, whoever comes out first, then they're going to dominate. They're going to take turns dominating the ball.
See, I think John's
They're going to play through each other.
But when it matters most,
that's the question.
Who's taking the shots?
Depends on who's on that night. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter like it's Harden's team or Westbrook's team. Who's rolling that night?
The one thing I will say in this conversation is I do think we are not discussing their basketball IQ. And both of them would not have become who they were as they went their separate ways without being able to understand the game at a high level. Neither have been able to achieve...
They don't win when it matters, though.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Neither of them have gotten to a certain point without someone else. So now we're trying to win, So we got to put this ball dominating thing aside. Like, we're trying to win.
Exactly.
But that D'Antoni's system, though, almost encourages the ball dominant thing. And I think what you see, this is how it works. If Mike was here, I got really close with the coaching staff here, so I know how they think. And they truly believe we have the best player on the floor. He has the ball in his hands all the time. Like, why would you give the ball to someone who's not as good as him? That's their mentality. So you're right. They'll do it in waves. They'll start the game, and then they'll always have one of them on the floor at all times. But what happens at the end of the game, that's the interesting part, because the minute Harden misses a key shot, which he's known to do late in games, that's when Russ, you wonder if he starts to get frustrated. So you have that part. The other thing that I think is the question no one's asking is that while Harden has been relatively healthy, he's been playing a lot of minutes over the last couple of years. Westbrook is a guy who's coming off another knee issue, right, coming into the season. He's not a guy that does play a lot. Like, he misses games. They don't have one or two of those guys. You see the rest of that roster, right? They're not very good. So you have to worry about their depth and whether or not they can carry a whole season.
All right, last night, Raptors beat New Orleans. No Zion Williamson, of course, in overtime. Before the game, Raptors got their championship rings.
Look at this.
The banner was unveiled. There's your coach, Nick Nurse. What a great job he did. Fantastic.
Ibaka got emotional.
Yeah, big-time bling, too. Really, really nice rings. And, of course, Kawhi Leonard's not there. But Pascal Siakam was incredible last night, 34 and 18. Fred VanVleet went for 34 as well.
Look at the size of
why in the world is Drake getting a
You're
championship?
a hater.
Wait a minute. No.
Hater.
I'm not a hater.
Cold hater.
He's not on the team.
If Nav Bhatia can get a ring, who is a super fan, who championed all the things that are beautiful about Canada, then this man Drake got to get a ring for the culture.
You're the player. If you were on the Raptors, would you want Drake to get a ring?
I want everybody to get a ring. I mean, you just feel happy about
Not
the whole...
on the team.
Drake got
He
a
is
whole
a part of
diamond
the
encrusted
team, though. He's part of the
jacket.
team.
Only because he's a celebrity, though.
No,
only because he's really a part of the team. He's a part of their culture. He's ingratiated into that team.
He meant
You
a
forgot
lot
the
to that
jacket?
franchise.
You forgot the jacket?
I get that. No, he's meant a lot to that franchise for its exposure and all that stuff. I completely get that. And we see a lot of teams. The Knicks have several celebrities that are also guys that are very closely associated with the franchise. But did you see the ring?
The ring itself is insane.
650 diamonds.
It's got 74 diamonds to represent the number of wins they had. All right, then one large, there's a trophy in the middle. I mean, they've got enough. I think there's a practice facility inside the ring as well. Like, this thing, it's gigantic. Like, I know guys don't walk around wearing their championship rings, except like the older guys do. I mean, Joe Namath came in here, he had his on. But I don't think these are rings now that are just display
ridiculous.
All right. Also of note, a very angry Michael Jordan, who in his Hall of Fame speech torched everybody, right?
Going there
and now he says Steph Curry doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. That's not for discussion now. The question is, what's going on with Michael Jordan? Why won't he give any of this new crew any props at all? He picked his best five back in 2013. Worthy, Pippen himself, Olajuwon, and Magic, and he won't make any changes to that.
I mean, I wouldn't change that team
I'm not mad at
personally.
that
I wouldn't change the team, but
he's not giving any modern-day player
any.
He does not give any modern-day player any
and yet
credit at all.
he pays homage to the old-timers all the time. He always respects the players who came before him. He always makes note about there were great players before me, and I never want to put myself above them. But the guys that came after me, I'm going to put myself above them.
Curry a Hall of Famer? I think he's a Hall of Famer.
I think so. I think he will be. But, I mean,
Rings, MVP.
If Mike gave away praises, he wouldn't be Mike. I mean, check out Steph's numbers.
Why can't he give Steph Curry and some of these modern
Because he's Michael Jordan.
I know, but get over that.
But he can't. I think that's him. That's who he is. And I also think, when you think of our families, right? Like grandparents, aunts, and uncles. When you did it, that was the best, period. And you can't touch it. There's no conversation.
By the way, his team has not ever won a playoff series since he took over in 2010 as a majority owner.
But he just played about when he was wearing
He has the worst eye for talent. I mean, he really does. He does.
Which is why he can't put Steph in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, only one of his draft picks has worked out, Kemba Walker.
And where is he now?
Celtics.